And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
When I saw this game here, Morocco, it has a pretty cool looking cover, but I'm always very suspicious when someone names a game after a place. A geographical name doesn't ever bodes well, because they're like, let's call this game, pick somewhere in the almanac that we haven't used yet. That's what it feels like. Morocco is a game, though, in which players are selling juice at different stands in a market, and you are trying to get the best positioning of stalls. You are doing so by scouting and finding out information, and I'm really making this game sound like it has themes. Essentially, you're moving cubes around. I'll show you. So you're going to have some juice stand tokens that are placed randomly all around the board. Each of these corresponds to different spots here. These are stalls. Each stall has 4 spaces in it, so each of these tokens matches those. These tokens are worth points at the end of the game. These are information cubes. You have 5 of them placed here, 5 here, and 5 here, one of each of the 5 colors. Each round of the game is broken into 2 phases. In the first phase is the scout stalls. So each person in turn order, and turn will start from whoever has this marker and go around, you're going to place this token on a spot where it isn't currently. So let's say I put it here. When you do that, you're going to look at the 2 lines that it's pointing to. So if I place it here, that means I get 1 black cube and 1 brown cube. Everyone else at the table will take 1 orange cube, the one directly in front of it. Let's say then that person moves it here. That person's going to get a purple and a black, and everyone else at the table is going to get a green. And this will continue on until every player has had a turn. Then each player is going to take 2 turns, starting with 1 player and going around. Each player gets an action, and an action is going to be usually placing 2 cubes here, and placing someone in the stall that matches those cubes. So if I play a purple and an orange cube, that means I can put something here in this stall or in here in this stall. When I do so, I'll take one of my workers and place it in that stall. I can put it in any of the 4 corners of that stall. Now, when the 4th person is put into a stall, then that stall is going to basically finish. It's going to trigger, it's going to close, and it's going to score. Each person that's there is going to take the disc that is on their corner, unless there isn't one. See, if this one closes, these 2 people aren't going to get one now. And then we're going to see who has the majority. Here, yellow has the majority, so they get 5 points. And they're also going to place a disc in this stall. And they might maybe place the disc like this. The disc has an arrow, and they'll point the arrow this direction. And then second place is going to get 2 victory points, and that second place can either will get their bodyguard, and they also will get a gold coin. Now, gold coins are worth a point at the end of the game. You can have a maximum of 3 of them, but you can also spend a gold coin to switch 2 cubes before you place workers, so they're very useful. A bodyguard is useful because even though they take up 1 spot in a section, they count as 2 people. So those are very useful to have. Then these people are returned to the owners. Now, because this arrow is pointing here, this needs 1 less person. So let's say it will look like this. If this was placed here, it's going to close and score because it only needs 4 to score, and this is pointing down. Since a bodyguard counts as 2, let's say there was a bodyguard here, and then someone put another worker, it's closed because 2, 1, 4, or 2, 3, 4, and now this one's going to close down, and again, these will go to the people who it goes to, and whoever wins it. If there's a tie for the victory, everyone scores to 5 points, but the stall tile that's placed down is an empty one. No one gets that. And so players are going to keep going as they're scoring these stalls and getting points. Each player also has cousins that they can play. To play a cousin, you need to play 3 cubes. So if I want to play a cousin, for example, in orange and black, I would play orange and black and 1 more cube, maybe this purple cube. And cousins means essentially I can put 1 person there, and I can put 1 person adjacent in another section. Each person also has a traveler or a tourist. When you put them somewhere, when that scores, whatever the arrow points, so let's say this one scores, and then blue places the arrow like this. Then the traveler will move one space in the direction of the arrow and be replaced by a normal seller. So each player has 2 of those. The traveler also costs 3 cubes to put out. And this is just going to continue on and on and on until the game ends. The game ends when there are 5 or less open market stalls. At that point, that's the last round. Everyone's going to take all these tokens that they got. They're going to add them together. Plus, you're going to, these gold coins are worth 1 point each if you have any left over. Then you're going to look at your biggest group of closed stalls that you have. So let's say yellow has this here, and over here yellow has 2. Well, those 2 don't mean anything, so these 3 here that are all next to each other will score 3 points each. That's another 9 points for the yellow player. Most points is the winner of the game. Now, you forgive me for one moment. You might wonder why I'm drinking water on video. It's because this game is so dry that I need to parch my thirst. Ah, man, that game is dry. Dry, 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 dry. What's the theme about? Who cares? Why do I want a whole bunch of stalls next to each other? Who cares? What do these information cubes mean? Who cares? I understand that you are scouting out stalls and stuff, but this theme is so pasted on that they're using crazy glue at this point in time. The game, though, itself is fine. It's not amazing, it's just fine. So I enjoyed it. I don't know that I would seek out playing it all the time. But yet, despite the fact that it's dry and the essentially theme was, the game is interesting. Now, there's some kind of kooky things at the beginning. Okay, you're moving that piece around trying to get cubes. So you are trying to get 2 color cubes you need because you're trying to find good spots to put your workers out there. But you also want to make sure you're not giving other people colors to help them. So if I see you take a black, and I'm pretty sure you're going to that black-purple spot because you went majority there, I'm going to try not to give you a purple cube with what I pick. So that's kind of an interesting little tiny mini game in there. You are watching what you're giving everyone else. And it's also nice because if you're playing with a full complement of players, you're going to get a lot of cubes on your turn. If you're playing with only 2 players, the game actually comes with a die that's sitting somewhere on the table here, which you roll to see what the extra cubes are that you get. That's cool. I was really excited. I'm like, ooh, what's this die do? Oh, not used in the full game. But anyhow, so that's that first little mini game, get the cubes. Then using the cubes, and this is kind of interesting because you're going for area majorities, but you're also trying to get into corners where there's good points. And sometimes the points you want, or sometimes you're forced to go to a spot, not forced to, but you go to a spot because that area majority, you want to win it. But that corner that you're going into, the juiced stand token there is already gone. And as the game goes by, those tokens start disappearing and it becomes about getting majorities. Now those tokens are useful, they're points. But I'm telling you, having a big connected thing, like if you get 5 or 6 next to each other, that's 15 or 18 points, right? That's a lot of points in this game. That is a lot of points. And so far, the games I've played, the people who managed to get good majorities won. I mean, getting the other things are cool and getting points during the game, but the people who get those are also getting points during the game. If you get a majority, you're getting 5 points during the game, and then you could get another 3 points for that at the end of the game. So breaking up someone's group that they're building is a really big deal. And getting those little corner tokens, that's good, and that certainly helps your final score, but not nearly as important because the highest those tokens are is 4 points. And again, getting the majority and maybe getting 2 points or 3 points plus the 5 plus 3 more at the end of the game is entirely better. The 3 extra people, the tourists and the cousins and the bodyguard, again, make no thematic sense. But they are interesting, and it is interesting how the game starts cascading. At first it takes a while, and people are trying to get majorities in different spots or ruin other people's majorities. But as slowly as time goes by, with the more arrows that are pointing at different tiles, things start cascading, and the game does end pretty quickly. It doesn't take a long time. The box says, I think, 45 minutes to an hour, which is pretty appropriate for how long the game takes. So, yes, it's essentially matching cubes, looking at a grid, trying to put your people on, maybe using those gold coins to switch to get your person in the right spot, trying to get area majority. There's very little luck in the game, if any at all. You're just basically playing off what other players do. So there's going to be a lot of sitting at the table thinking, but it's not too complex. There's not that many different options that you can have. So I found it interesting. I'm sure the theme is slapped on, but the game itself, getting the cubes and using them, is good for a lark. It's not amazing. Like I said, I think this game will probably be forgotten within a year, unfortunately. But I did enjoy playing it, and this may be exactly what you're looking for. That's Morocco. Dice Tower Judgment, approved.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.